Hello, welcome to Happy Hands Knitting Podcast. My name is Nadine and I'm back in northern New South Wales, Australia. I've just returned from my holiday down in Victoria. I'm originally from Montreal, Canada. If you haven't watched my podcast before and you're wondering why I do not sound Australian, that is why. I've been living here for about 12 and a half years with my husband, who is Australian, our 2 teenage girls, and our 3.5-year-old Labrador named Bear. This is a knitting podcast, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for all my new subscribers and people who watched my video last week about the Australian Sheep and Wool Show down in Bendigo. That video did very well, and I gained a lot of new subscribers, so thank you so much if you gave it a watch. It was a really fun video to make, and yeah, the whole experience of my first Fiber Festival was just amazing, and I definitely want to go back. Today I'm going to be sharing a little bit about the second half of my holiday. So the first half was spent close to Bendigo, where we went to the Australian Sheep and Wool Show and stayed with my father-in-law and his partner who live in the country close to there. So for the second half of our holiday, we went to visit my husband's other sister, or my husband's sister, in Melbourne for a couple of days. And then we went down to stay with his other sister in Geelong, where a lot of people, most of his family came, and we celebrated Christmas in July. We had a wonderful Christmas in July, and I got to gift my Bad Santa gift, which was the cat socks. Hopefully I'll try to find a video to post of those. I gifted to my nieces and nephews the little cotton rabbits, and they were a big hit, so that was pretty exciting. I've got a work in progress, which is the cardigan that I'm making for my daughter, which I'll share with you. Of which I'm not using a pattern, so yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting knit. And what else? Oh, and when we were in Melbourne, I got to visit a yarn store and 3 fabric stores. So I'll just share with you a little bit of fabric that I bought while I was there. Okay, let's get started with what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a hinterland dress, which I've sewn out of some linen that I bought on Facebook Marketplace. And I'm not super convinced that it's 100% linen. It feels a little bit like wool, actually. So it might be like a wool and linen mix. I bought it on Marketplace. The person didn't know what it was. You get what you get on Marketplace. And this is the 3 Seasons cardigan by Wool & Pine that I've knit in Bendigo Woolen Mills Rustic 8-ply in the color Forest. They don't make this yarn anymore. At the moment, they only have the tweed, which I will show you later, which is wonderful. But yeah, I bought this also, I think I bought it on a de-stash, on one of the Australian yarn de-stashing groups that I'm on, maybe even the Bendigo Woolen Mills de-stashing group. And I love it. It's super soft. It's got really pretty cables and lace, so a bit of both. And the modification I made to this was I added a panel on the arm because people had said that the arm was quite tight. So I added this panel, which can be found, I think on the back, there. So I added a panel of that down the arm and didn't do any decreases. Oh no, I did do, and I slowly decreased. I think that's what I did. Yeah, so I love this cardigan. I'm really into this foresty green. I love it. I love green and blues together. Okay, the first thing I'll show is my work in progress, because I know that people just tune in for the knitting. So here it is. So like I said, this is going to be an improvised pattern. My daughter has made a request. My daughter's made a request for a cardigan that she would like based on a picture that she saw here. I'm not sure, maybe on TikTok or Instagram or something, and it's actually a pullover. I don't think it's a pattern. I think it's just, you know, a ready-made item that you can buy. But she really loved the color. She loved the tweediness. So I'm using this Bendigo Woolen Mills 10 ply in Rustic Tweed. The color is called Hickory, I think. It's really, really nice. Dark chocolate brown with little kind of beigey nets in it. And she loves it, it's perfect. And she wanted, instead of the pullover, she wanted a cardigan. And not only that, she wants the cardigan with the button band a little bit on the side. And she also wants a really high turtleneck so that the buttons, when they're unbuttoned, it kind of folds over like that. Like I feel like that's how she's gonna wear it, with the top, the turtleneck kind of open. So that's what I'm working with. I had a close look at the pattern that she showed me, the photo, and it kind of looked like a brioche or a fisherman's rib or half fisherman's rib. So I decided to go with half fisherman's rib. I've not done that before, but I just YouTubed how to do it. And I found a super simple way. I think I talked about it last week. One direction, because it's knit flat, one direction is only knit. So super easy. And then on the way back, you're knitting into the stitch below and purling one. So yeah, it's super easy, couldn't be easier. And I'm pretty sure this is gonna open right up when you block it. She wants it to be very oversized. So I'm doing it bottom up. I don't even think I'm gonna do a special kind of hem on the bottom because it doesn't need it. You know how stockinette always needs to have ribbing on the bottom unless you want it to roll up, but this doesn't. So I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. So I think I'm at the bit now where I need to separate for the back and the front. So I've got to do a bit of math. I have 173 stitches, and I'm gonna have to, I'll divide that by 2 for the front and the back. And I'm pretty sure for the stitch you have to have an odd number. So I'm gonna leave an odd number at the back, probably divide that number by half, and then subtract 1, I don't know. I really have to sit down with some paper, but I'm gonna have to divide it evenly for the back, and then the front stitches will have to be a little bit off-centered, so like that. So, oh yeah, and also I'll have to cast off some under the arms. And then yeah, I'm just gonna continue knitting. It's gonna be a drop sleeve. So this shape is just gonna be a rectangle. So from here, I'll just keep going up. And then eventually when I get to the top, I'll have to, yeah, make it a round neck by on each side, casting off. So pretty basic here. And then once I've done the front and the back will also have a bit of neck shaping, I'll attach that. And then I guess I'll just do the sleeves. And the sleeves are really basic. They're kind of oversized and loose. And I talked to her about that. I said it's very inconvenient to have very loose sleeves when you're doing stuff, but she doesn't mind. She really loves the look of that. So they're gonna be oversized. I don't even know what that's called, not a bell sleeve, just oversized, straight, you know, really baggy sleeves. And then I'm gonna do the neck last. Now, this half fisherman's rib, let me tell you, is eating so much yarn. This is already 1 whole ball plus probably half of this ball. So I'm really hoping that 4 balls is gonna be enough, but I kind of have a feeling I'm gonna have to order more yarn. So I might save, yeah, I'm thinking if I do the neck last, that even if the dye lot's a little bit different, it wouldn't be as noticeable if it's in the neck. I hope that makes sense. And I feel like the size is good because she's very tiny, but I did read that this is gonna really open up. So I almost feel like I'm gonna have to just do afterthought buttons and just, I won't even need to do a button band, I don't think, because this is really gonna open up wide. So that's gonna be fun. I have never done afterthought buttons before. I saw a tutorial somewhere. I think I've saved it on my Instagram. It looks pretty easy. That's all I have to say about that. Very fun. Oh, okay, I'll talk about our trip to Melbourne now. But before we left to Melbourne, we took the train. We went to Castlemaine, and they have this place called the Mill. And it used to be a proper mill. It's got a big chimney stack and everything. And they've converted it into really funky cafes, restaurants, artsy shops, and, you know, like gourmet chocolate and cheeses and ice cream and all things like that. And then they have this ginormous, I guess where the factory was, is all now secondhand antiques and things like that, secondhand clothes, yeah, anything you can dream of. But it's all little stalls of people who, I guess, rent the space, and people who sell their secondhand things or go antiquing and try to resell them there. So it's really, really fun. I think it's just called the Mill Castlemaine. I'm not sure if it has a special name, but we bought these beautiful cups there, a set of 6. So we really love stoneware. So yeah, this was a very good find. Always a bit tricky when you're having to take the plane home for what you can purchase when you're away. Most of my suitcase was replaced with yarn. We actually had to get, we borrowed a second suitcase to take along, probably mostly yarn home, but also things like that. Okay, so from Castlemaine, we took the train into Melbourne, and that was amazing. I got to do plenty of knitting, so that was really fun. And when we were in Melbourne, I got to go visit Morris & Sons. Okay, before I even go there. So we are staying with my husband's sister. She is 14 years younger than me, and she has just started knitting. I was so happy. She actually joined the cardigan. I think it's called cardigan. I think it's an Australian company. And she bought a kit, so it comes with the yarn, you know, giant straight, really giant needles, really bulky yarn, the pattern with lots of video tutorials. And yeah, while I was there, I helped her finish because she had knit, and yeah, it was just a cardigan, and it's just a square for the back, 2 rectangles for the front. And when I was visiting her, she worked on the sleeves, and I helped her with decreasing for the cuff and knit 2, purl 2, knit 1, purl 1 for the cuffs. And then what she really wanted help with mostly was the seaming, because the whole thing is knit flat and requires a lot of seaming. So yeah, she said from now on she's only knitting in the round, because she saw me knitting on this, and she was, even though that's not in the round, but I was showing her the circular needles, and I was showing her some of the other things that I brought, how, you know, not this one. Most of the other things that I've knit are knit from the top down in the round, and she's like, yeah, that's me from now on, because she loved the knitting, she did not love the sewing. But I digress. So I was very excited because she also wanted to go to the yarn store. So we got to go to Morris & Sons, which is right in downtown Melbourne. In a building, you go in and up an escalator. Down the escalator, by the way, is an amazing giant bookstore. So yeah, definitely go visit this place if you love reading and knitting, and of course those two go hand in hand. But upstairs was Morris & Sons, and I had spent my yarn budget. I was not buying any more yarn, but it was really lovely to look around, and it's a very, very big store. I'll put a little video, if I haven't already, at the end or at the beginning. It was very, very pretty. They had a great sales section, lots of kits, and their own yarn as well, which I hadn't heard of before. So yeah, it was very, very fun. And the next day, my sister-in-law had to work, so my husband and I took the train, I think. Yeah, we took the train to Fitzroy, and in Fitzroy, there is the fabric store. I know there's one in Brisbane as well, but I've never been. We live about an hour and a half drive from Brisbane, but I was very excited to go visit the fabric store. And I saw also that Draper's Fabric was close to there. And the first road that we walked down, super cheap fabrics. So I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I'm actually very surprised that there wasn't a yarn store in that area, because, you know, 3 fabric stores, why wouldn't you also have a yarn store there? But I don't know, I chatted to the lady at the fabric store, and she says, yeah, I don't know why there's not one here. And she directed me to Morris & Sons, which I had already been to. But anyways, so super cheap fabrics I went into first. I looked around. I their fabric was really well priced, as you know, the name suggests, but I wasn't too sure. There was one color linen that I thought I would really like, but I thought I'll leave it and come back later. And then we went to the fabric store and they were having a sale. I think the sale is still on. It was 40% off almost everything, kind of a thing. Like that's, whoops, I just scared my dog with the little spool of yarn that fell, a spool of thread. Anyways, so yeah, so they were having a sale, and then I found this fabric, which was on a crazy sale of $10 a meter. So of course I had to buy it. And oh, okay, I really love navy blue. But this is different than this, you guys. I don't know if you can tell. This is much deeper, but it's very lightweight. It said mid-weight, but I feel like it's quite, well, I guess it is mid-weight. It's not really sheer. Let's see if I can grab a bit to show you. Is that, no? It's a little bit sheer, but not really. The color was just called navy, and it's amazing. I bought 3 meters. Before I bought it, I also asked the lady at the cash, has she used it? And she said yes. She's used it to make a top and a skirt and maybe even a dress. So I was like, okay, that sounds right up my alley. Love the color. Yeah, so I bought another navy blue linen to make something. I don't know what exactly yet, we shall see. Okay, so after we went there, we went into Draper's Fabric, and it was really nice as well, but nothing was really catching my eye. The store was really funky. And actually, a couple days later, I saw that they were now having a big sale. So you can go online and buy from them. I think it was 30 to 40% off all the stuff in shops as well. So we went back to Super Cheap Fabrics, and there was a remnants bin. So, you know, just the leftover the leftover of the fabric. They sometimes trim the end, fold it up, and stick it in a bin. And that's where I found this. So this is 2.5 meters by 140, a linen cotton blend, and it was only $20. So $20 for 2.5 meters. I thought that's a real bargain. This color is not a color I normally wear. I'm not super convinced if it's my color for something that I'll wear close to my face, but I thought that it would be amazing for pants. It's kind of like a reddy brown, I don't know, like a cinnamony color. And I do love it with blue, and I have a lot of blue knits and things. So I thought that combo will look really nice. So, and it's also, it's a little bit heavier weight, I think, than that one. So I think it'll make a really nice pair of pants. Speaking of which, I'm a little bit on the fence. If anyone out there has made the Pomona pants, I'll put a photo. I'm debating if I should buy that pattern because I have the chanterelle pants pattern, but I have made 3 pairs of chanterelle pants, actually 4, because I made one with the different view. So I'm kind of thinking, do I want something different? And are the Pomona pants too similar? I'm not sure. I know that the chanterelle are really oversized. I don't really feel that confident with my abilities to try to modify them to make them a little bit different yet, but I do like the look of the Pomona pants. I've seen a few knitting podcasters have made them. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you've made both or either, and if you suggest the Pomona pants, if I give them a try. I'm not sure who makes them. I'll try to put under that photo who the designer is. But yeah, and the chanterelle pants are same designer as my hinterland dress, So Liberated. And I already have that pattern. So, or is there another pair of pants that you suggest I try to make? Yeah, out of linen? Let me know. Okay. That's all that I bought there. Oh, sorry, and I bought a matching thread. I forgot to buy a matching thread for the navy, but that's not gonna be too hard to find. But this one was at Super Cheap Fabrics. I mean, I could not buy that. It was a perfect match. And I do try to get 100% cotton, because I find if you're gonna be making something out of linen, you know, eventually when it's unsalvageable, unmendable, you know, you could just chuck it in the compost. So if it has cotton thread, then you can feel good about chucking it in the compost because there's no plastic that's going to be in there. Okay, so my dog, here's someone. He started growling lately. It's not great. Okay, so just to tell you a little bit more about my Christmas, that we had Christmas in July. So I gave my nieces and nephew their little cotton rabbits, and they were very pleased with them. And ironically, the girl who I thought would be too old, she's 10, she was kind of hemming and hawing because I asked her mom, do you think that they would like this? And I guess she asked them, even though I was hoping it would be a surprise. But she came back and said that, you know, the 7-year-old was very keen. The 10-year-old thought about it, and then she said, oh, she'd like to have it as an heirloom piece. But she ended up cuddling it the most, taking it everywhere with her. And yeah, it was very, very sweet. So that kind of warmed my heart. Yeah, so it was a big success. And the cat socks that I made, I'll post a video either here at the end. So I did in the end, so I had two socks, as you do. And the one on the back of the heel, just above the black heel, they were gray stripes. I had kind of duplicate stitched a little cat and a little tail. And so on the second pair, I decided to write meow. So three out of 4 of the women that were there are really into cats, you know, not including myself. So there was four women, 3 out of them loved cats. This one also likes cats, but also dogs. So it was, yeah, it was a good bet to think that cats on the sock was going to be a big winner. And let me tell you, okay, first I'll finish telling you about the meow. So I decided that I wasn't going to try to duplicate stitch the meow, the letters, but in the end, I just did a running stitch, back stitch. I just did a running stitch and combination of running stitch and back stitch, so there was no gaps. And I just, in between the stitches, just stitched, and that's how I wrote meow on the socks. And it turned out really great, and it was also stretchy, which I was a bit worried about. You wouldn't want to put something there that wasn't gonna stretch with the sock. Obviously, you have to get that bit over your foot. So yeah, it worked out great. And let me tell you, it was the hit of the bad Santa because they were all stealing it from each other. And yeah, the other present that we bought, because my husband and I were 2 people, was a mug at the Sheep and Wool show. I forgot to take a video of it, but a really, really beautiful dark green mug with a handle that was handmade. And those 2 things are being fought over like crazy. So I'm gonna take that as a big success. And next year, I think I will also make a pair of socks, if not 2, so that could be the present from my husband and I, because yeah, everybody was keen to get a pair of socks. Who doesn't love hand knit socks? I think that is all I have to chat about today. Thank you so much for watching. Welcome to all my new subscribers. I hope that you continue to watch my videos and not just the last one because it was about the yarn festival. All my videos can't be about yarn festivals, but I hope that you find something to keep your hands happy this week, and I look forward to talking to you again next week. Sorry, this video was shot, there's my dog. This video was shot on a different day, and that's because, yeah, we just got back from our holiday. When you have your own business, as my husband and I do, you're crazy busy before your holiday, crazy busy when you get back. It's all catch up. So yeah, I just found a little bit of a minute to squeeze in right now. Okay, I gotta go because my dog wants to go outside. But again, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.